Now let's pay homage to the lineage gurus, to the Venerable Mang Liao Ming, to Master Sakya Zeng Kong, homage to His Holiness 16th Karmapa, Master Dukden Dorji, and homage to the three jewels of the altar. And homage to the main deity of the group practice today, Jambala, and homage to the 5 Dhyani Buddhas. So, all Dharma masters, Dharma educators, Dharma teachers, Dharma lecturers, Dharma assistants, directors of temples, and our all disciples present here and over the internet. And our VIPs today are Madam to Ambassador Daniel Liao, the rep from Taipei to Sweden, Dharma Sister Judy, producers for the Kenny Tian Sang Xin Teng, from CTI TV Taiwan, Dharma Sister Rebecca Shiyachi, Dr. Lin Su Hua, Dr. Ryan Zhuang, and from the Overseas Chinese Commission, Dharma Sister Winnie, and from Chengdu, China, the president of the Tongyong Airline, Miss Yan Hua, and Dharma brother Qi Zong from Taiwan. So today we did the practice of yellow Jambala. And first of all, I would like to say hello to everybody. Good evening, everybody. How do you do? In Cantonese. We did the practice of yellow Jambala as the main deity, and I remember we had a Homa of Jambala not long ago. And we talk about that most of the wealth deities belong to the 4 heavenly kings. And they reside at wonderful palaces, like they made of gold, silver, palaces made of gold, palaces made of silver, and also palaces made of crystal, and also palaces made of precious gems and jewels. And the 4 heavenly kings guard the 4 continents. So Buddhism also talk about the 4 great continents. Is the continent of at the center which is where the Monkey King lived. He lived at the eastern continent, and the south belongs to the south continent or Jambudvipa, and almost the whole earth belongs to the Jambudvipa, and also the north continent, Plaksadipa, Salmalidipa, Kusadipa. So the Jambudvipa was under the control of the four heavenly kings. And so in Hong Kong, they don't like the sound su or like. So they don't like the sound of su because it actually sounds like losing. So they eat, they dine and play cards at the restaurant. But in Hong Kong, that's very popular. But in Taiwan, there aren't restaurants that would play cards first and then eat. So they still, do they still exist? Yes, they play mahjong before eat at the restaurant. And the people of the Jambudvipa, they have stronger habitual tendencies, but they like Buddha Dharma. And from the other continents, like the continents from the east or north or center, they are of the greater environment, so they are happier. But in the human realm, it's about half suffering and half happiness. So the four heavenly kings are in charge of the four continents. In the Tong Seng book, it's like a calendar, and it was noted the dates when the four heavenly kings are circumambulating. Can they fix this? It's really bad. So they would observe the good and the bad of all the human beings, and then they would make a report to the Triyamtrasa heaven, the center of the 33 heavens. So eight directions times 4 plus the center, so that would be 33. So the great kings of these 33 heavens, oh jeez. So they would decide whether they would bestow fortunes or give calamities to heavenly beings. So it's between heavens and humans. Actually, they're the same. But heavens can bestow to human beings fortunes or disasters. It's decided by the heavens. Like some that cannot be changed. Like these natural disasters of water, fire, earth, or wind. Earthquakes, flood, fire, and windstorm. This happened a lot on earth. So if the hearts of the people are good, then the heavens would be happy. Then they would bestow good fortunes upon human beings. But when the hearts of the human beings are bad, then the heavens would be angry and they would bestow disasters. So in the past, when we study Buddhism, we have this kind of causes and conditions. And recently, I found that the hearts of human beings are not so good. They have changed. And not just human beings, families, family clans. Can we just use the TV? Maybe just use the TV. So the hearts have been changing all the time. Can we make the sound from here? So some place. So although some places are fortunate, but it's not that much compared to the disasters. That's because of the hearts of the human beings. They created a collected karma, and they would create the retributions from heavens. Like yellow Jambala, the wealth deity bestowed upon the Buddhist followers to get good fortunes and also to enhance their wisdom. So merits and wisdoms are together. So without wisdom, you would create bad karma. But with wisdom, you would generate merits. So these are all the different phenomena. And for the Buddhists, because of the protection of the Buddhas, Bodhisattvas, and heavens, we can have peace in the country, and everybody is rather fortunate. And we hope that when we practice Jambala, we hope that he will bestow upon each of us. And he bestow resources upon us so that we have sufficient resources and enhanced wisdom. These are very important. And once you are endowed with abundant fortunes, that you need to perform charities and bestow upon other beings, then that would be good. In the past, my gurus told me, before I enter into the society, the Venerable Liao Ming told me a statement. When you come down from the mountain to get into the society, I would like to instruct you that to never ask for money. I often write this in my books. So never open your mouth and ask for money. Oh, it's bad. So during the grand ceremony recently, I took my cloth back and I said that in the future, if you ask for Mahabala empowerment, you need to make offering and fill the whole cloth bag. And yet they thought that maybe just fill it with $1 bill. And then I specified it that the dollar bill has to be $100 bill. But I shouldn't say that because my guru had instructed me. So if I ask for money, then I made a mistake. So I would repent because I could not open my mouth and ask for money, telling people to fill my whole cloth bag in order for you to get the empowerment of Mahabala. How could I say that? That was wrong. So immediately I repented. And never again dare to do that, because my guru instructed me never to ask for money. So in this life, I follow my guru's instruction. That's for myself. I cannot control the other propagators because I never instructed them never to ask for money. But my guru instructed me to never ask for money. So that's why I never asked for money except during that ceremony. After saying that, I thought, oh no. As soon as at the end of the ceremony, I repented. Because I said that you need to fill my whole monk bag. However, because you have many disciples, so even if the disciples give you a little bit, that would be enough and I would be content. So I find that I have enough. Even when I never ask for money, I have enough. So recently in my book I wrote to please not make offering to Grandmaster. Please. No need to offer to Grandmaster. You don't have to offer to Grandmaster. However, if you would like to make offerings, then of course I wouldn't reject, because if you, but if you keep going back and forth and you give me and I keep saying, oh no need, that's kind of superfluous. So I did say that before, and recently I repeat that to please not offer. And even when you take refuge, it is voluntary. For empowerments, it's voluntary. And also for the remote empowerments of Mahabala, it's also voluntary. Or even if you want to receive the direct empowerment for Mahabala, it is also voluntary. There is no specific price for it. And moreover, whatever I do for you, it's all voluntary. If you give me too much, then I would feel that, oh, that's how come they give me so much. Then I would feel a little bit embarrassed. So Master Lamdre from Taiwan Lijiang Temple, when he just took refuge, he took a yellow box, like a cardboard box that's used to like a instant noodle box or something. And there was a Jinghuan hotel near the Taichung Park. And when I returned to Taiwan one time, I stayed at this Jinghua hotel, and he took a box of offering to Grandmaster of money because he wanted to become a monk. And he said, this is all my savings as an offering to Grandmaster, which is the abbot of the Taiwan Lizang Temple now, Master Lianzi. And I asked him, is it instant noodle inside? And he said, no. And he opened it, and it's filled with 1,000 NT dollar bill for the whole box as an offering for me. When I saw that, I said, no, just keep it to yourself. But he replied, because now he's becoming a monk and he had no need for this money anymore, and made offering to Grandmaster. And I said, no, I don't need your money. You just become a monk, and then you keep it, and one day you may need it. So I didn't want to accept it, and he had to give it to me. So we keep going, push and pull and push him. Because it was too much money, so I was very afraid. Why? Why am I so afraid of money? Because money should be very useful. Because it was too much, so it shocked me. And then I said, because you really wanted to give it to me, so I just, as a gesture, I would just take a few sheets, and that signified that you have made the offering, because we were just checking in at the lobby. So it wasn't good to be in public pushing back and forth. So that's why I just took a few sheets, 1 or 2 sheets of the bills. And one time, when I was living in Sichi, someone asked me to cure his illness, and I said, okay. And I drew a talisman and give blessing. And before he left, after he stepped out of the front door, he took a bag with tie and threw it into the house. So when he walked out, I heard some boing, some sound, and when I took a look, oh gosh, it was a bag of cloth, and inside it's all money. It's about this big, also $1,000 bills. And when I saw that, no, this is not good. We don't know if his illness will be cured. We have to rely on the miracles. And if he's not cured and he came back to ask for his money back, that would be problematic. Simu was there too, so I threw the money back out the fence, and he threw it back in, and then I threw it back out. So it's like we're playing volleyball. So we just keep throwing the bag back and forth. Actually, I was scared. Huh? Because who is poor? And seeing that much money, I threw it back out. And finally, after throwing it back, finally, I said that when you are cured, then you can make the offering, but it still doesn't have to be that much. So I still asked him to bring the money back. And one time also returning to Taiwan, there was a boss of a golf course. And when I got in the car, he gave me a bag. And I didn't know. And he just placed it next to my feet. Said, this is for Grandmaster. And then I checked and it was heavy. And when I opened it, oh, he said, how many million at that time? 3.5 million NT Taiwan dollars. And he placed it next to my feet. And I asked the car to stop. And I said, no, we cannot keep this money. I don't know where I should put this. Because now I'm propagating Buddha Dharma and you place a bag of money on my feet. Why don't you deposit into the bank? Deposit it into your own account. Bring it back. I don't want it. And Simu thought of that. And it did happen. And also, like wire check. You know, I don't dare. Huh? I just use small capitals and just maybe make small profits. That's how I am. So when my mom was still alive, she said that Sung Yen Lu is just the little one. And we often sing that song about the little spirits. So my mom said I'm a very timid guy. You know, not courageous. So I don't dare to take that much money from people, just little. And I don't have the great fortune to win lottery, but I hope that disciples would win the lottery. And Jambala and the 5 Dhyani Buddhas descended just now, and I hope that they bestowed upon everybody and that you would win lotteries. But Grandmaster has no fate to win lotteries or prizes. No matter what prize I would draw, I never win. It's not in my destiny, whether it's lottery prizes or the Power Lotto. So I don't have such windfalls in my life, but Simu does. She often wins when she draws prizes. I hope that everybody would have sufficient resources, because True Buddha School is poor, and I hope every disciple has all their needs fulfilled. And Grandmaster would like to tell everybody that in this life, Grandmaster doesn't dare to want anything big, like a great fortune or great prosperity. So just small business. And I often say that trickles of water continually flowing. I don't need like a huge river, but it's just a small stream, but continually. And it's good enough to take care of my old age. And Sifu told me it's not easy these days. So, huh? You know, to live in the elderly home, you need tens of thousands of dollars a month, or at least a few $1,000s a month. And it's best for you not to get sick. If you get sick and you are hospitalized for a few days, you have to pay over $10,000. So it's quite scary to be old. And American hospitals are quite scary, especially if you don't have health insurance. It could be horrendous. For my mom, she was only hospitalized for a few days and how much? Huh? Was it heart attack? Jennifer. Huh? 230,000? For 5 days in the hospital. Then I have to prepare. That's quite shocking. Oh, we cannot be sick. Really. That's quite scary. Okay, now let's stop talking about money because that's quite scary. So today we will continue to expand on Lamdre. The key points of the 5 starts of affinity is a suitable body as a good start, arising to the mind of realization and enlightenment. And the basis of this start of affinity is the channels, channel seeds, nectar, qi, or vital energy, etc. So what it meant here is talking about the 5 starts of affinity. It explained below the outer start, the inner start, the secret start, and the true suchness start, and the ultimate start. So that's the 5 starts of affinity. And tomorrow I would explain further. The key points is the suitable body. So it is based on the body. Every human being has a body. Lao Tzu once said, I'm really sorry, the sound is really bad today. So it is a weakness to have a body. So what Lao Tzu meant was that it would be wonderful not to have a physical body. Having a physical body is not good, but in Tantrayana, because you have a physical body, then you would know how to cultivate spiritually. Without the body, you cannot make use of. Because you have the body, you can make use of it to cultivate spiritually. So that's the start of the affinity for spiritual cultivation. Simple explanation is like this. Actually, we have this body, but the start of your affinity may come from past life, or this life, or the future life, or many past lives. All kinds of affinities would make you have this body. So from your past until now, so that you have this body, the manifestations of all your past life is in this body. And some affinity is the outer affinity, the affinity of the circumstances, of the surroundings. Like in the past, my start of affinity in believing in Christianity was because there was a little girl behind my house, and she was a Christian, and I liked that little girl. And she went to the Xinxin church in Kaohsiung, so I followed her. So that was the start of affinity. And without this little girl being a Christian, I wouldn't have gone to the church. So that's the start of the affinity in my believing Christianity. Why did I believe in Buddhism? Because I went to the Yihuang temple and encountered the Golden Mother, which opened my divine eye. And right then and there, I understood everything. And that night, I saw the three realms for the whole night, and seeing the heavens and the earth for the whole night. And I got to know my origins. That's the start of my affinity. So I was a Christian. How could I become a Buddhist? That was the start of affinity, that my mother brought me to the Yihuang temple, where they had ceremony conducted by Chio-san. That's the Japanese language that we use. Chio-san. And she's left the world. And she told me the Buddhas and Bodhisattvas are looking for someone by the name Katsu, Seng. The Chinese name Seng in Japanese is Katsu, and my nickname is Katsu. And nobody else was named Katsu, only I was. Only me. So since the Buddhas and Bodhisattvas called upon my name, so I went. And that was the start of my affinity. A Golden Mother opened my divine eye. And then it continued until today. Now I'm 72. And at that time I was 26. The other way around. The Taiwanese year is 72, but the real age is 71. And I met Golden Mother when I was 26. So that was a deep affinity. Golden Mother is seated behind me. So this affinity is very deep. And because of this affinity, that made me to be like this. This is a kind of start of the affinity. And it is ever changing. And human lives has flows and ebbs. And getting to know everybody. And some people, upon seeing Grandmaster, they would cry, would be filled with tears. That's very strange. Why? Why would they cry seeing Grandmaster? Because they have affinity with Grandmaster, because they have affinity with the Buddhas and Bodhisattvas. So naturally, you would shed tears. So all kinds of affinities. And also with Simu was the start of the affinity. We were going for outings with 3 classmates, me, Hu Ziqian, Xiao Kao. 3 of us wanted to go on outings. And my girlfriend was called Liu Mei, and she called 2, Liang Qiaoming, Lu Lixiang, and Liu Mei. So 3 and 3. 3 guys and 3 girls went for an outing. My girlfriend was Liu Meili, and she, my classmate, courted on Lu Lixiang and Liang Qiaoming. So of those 3, Liang Qiaoming was the prettiest, and my girlfriend was just so-so, and Lu Lixiang was kind of chubby. Now she's very skinny, but before I called her the fatso. I called her fatso. She was fat. So we went out, and her family name is Lu, my family name is Lu, so it's impossible for us to get married. So we just having fun. So that's affinity. So Fu Ziqian courting on Liang Qiaoming, and they were all having a lot of hard time. And one time, all of a sudden, she has another friend. And then I didn't get married until I was 30. And all of a sudden, I heard someone said, Seng Yen Lu is not even married, and he's already 30, so he must have problems in one part of his body. And I jumped, saying that I have problem. And I didn't have a girlfriend then, so I checked who would that be, and it's Lu Lixiang. Huh? So I went to her house to date her. So that's the start of affinity. And then she brought her mom to come for spiritual consultation and ask for the marriage of Simu, the marriage prospect of Simu, asking me. And when I consulted spiritually, I couldn't even laugh. I couldn't smile. I don't know whether it's good luck or bad luck. But if it is a bad luck, you can't run away from it, so that's called destiny. And that's also the start of an affinity. Having a body. So where is your affinity for spiritual cultivation? Is it on the chi, on the channels, on the light drops? on the 6 syllables on the channels, like Om Ahum, they all have their own affinities. And those are the affinities to practice inside your body. They all exist. Let me share with you. How come the buns, the steam buns that you sell today are not as good as yesterday's? And the seller said, impossible. Because the steam buns are from yesterday. So time, even time is also a start of an affinity. I have consulted spiritually on Fo Qi. How come he's still not connected to Buddhism until now? He doesn't practice Buddhism, he doesn't listen to Buddhist teachings. Ho Chi Lu is my son. How come he hasn't started on his Buddhist practice? It turned out that it'll be when he's in his 50s before he starts. So that's because of time. But at that time, it's too late. All you need to practice is how to go to the Pure Land. Because his affinity will not start until he's in his 50s. Nothing we can do. So it also depends on the time. Sometimes your surroundings or your environment that make you study Buddhism. But when time is not here, you will not meet someone with affinity. Huh? Time will make you meet, but time would also make you go separate ways. I told the joke before. Oh, the soup is so salty today. There is a female disciple here by the family named Tang, which in Chinese means soup. Where is she? Can you please stand up and show everybody? We call her soup. Tang Tang. So the soup is too salty. What can we do? Drink it later. Why? The mother. Because everything will lighten throughout time. So time will cure everything, but in Chinese it sounds like, it would lighten it up, so it will not be that salty. So time will cure everything, but some you cannot. So that's the issue of time and space. Sometimes time and space would make up of the affinity. We all have close affinities because we are together. In order to be together, you must have a great affinity with each other, like between friends. Even some good friends would split up because their affinity is short. But if your affinity is long and good, then it would be an everlasting friend. Someone asked the great master to choose numbers for the lottery, and he could spiritually. How many times have you traveled abroad? 4. How many kids do you have? 2. How many books have you read? 5. Huh? Something. How many times a month are you happy with your husband? 2. And her face was red. How many extramarital affairs do you have? And the lady replied, I'm a good wife. Then the number is 0. So the numbers would be 4, 2, 5, 2, 0. She wanted to buy a lottery. 4, 2, 5, 2, 0. I traveled abroad 4 times, 2 kids, read 5 books, twice a month. Extramarital affairs. And because she replied, I'm a good wife. So the great master said 0 then. And then she bought the lottery, and at the announcement date, 3 days later, it was 42529. And this wife was really regretting it. It would have been better if I didn't lie. Buying a lottery ticket is also the start of affinity between the time and space, and when you encounter the affinity to win a lottery, just for that period of time, that's time, and the space is because you are passing by the lottery shop, and then you went inside and you bought the lottery, and for the time is for that period of time, and you bought it, and that would be your fortune. So even winning a lottery would depend on your affinity. So your own good fortune, time and space all together. So that's the start of an affinity too. Just an old question. The wife asked the husband, when your mom and I fell into the water, who would you save first? This is an old problem, old joke. The husband replied, I would save you first. And the wife said, oh, I'm so moved. Oh, honey, why did you save me first? Why would you save me first? And the husband replied, because by saving you, the water level would drop, and then my mom would be saved. Because the wife was so overweight. So was it in a bathtub? Only possible in a tub, that when she got out, that the water would drop. It would not happen in the ocean or river or in a hot spring. But there are only little ponds for the hot spring, so you would not drown there. So that's just a joke. that just by coincidence being told at this time, then it is a joke, nothing else. Just a joke.
再谈吧，缘起很好玩的。得谈上上问悟空。
The monk Sanzang asked the Monkey King, huh?
我是问你个问题。
Let me ask you a question.
孙悟空问。
And the monkey asked.
谈上上就问了。
And the monks. What is the difference between the spirits and the monsters? See, we often sing the song about the spirits. And the Monkey King replied, just check their bosoms. And the monk replied, oh, that's mistakes. How do you differentiate them? That's common knowledge. Huh? Oh, it's an idiom of Chinese. So if the bosoms are big, that's the spirit, and if it's small, it's the monster. Because that's the idiom 大惊小怪, which means totally different thing, of course. Like much fuss about nothing. I often think maybe in the past I had been a monk too, and I had built a temple in my past lives. I had been a monk and I had built temples. And during the temple construction, I was responsible for it, like I was the abbot of the temple, and I wanted to spend a little less time and keep some for myself to use. So the abbot had some greedy thoughts, like say, how high is this temple? Is our temple here? 35 feet. So I thought, well, maybe I cut it by 1 or 2 feet. Then I would get some money. So it was supposed to be 35, and I made it. So I skimmed on the job. That's why today Seng Yen Lu have to wear these high heel sandals. See, you cannot skim when you build a temple. If it's supposed to be 35 feet, then and you build it to be 33 feet, and you didn't, maybe people wouldn't notice. It still look high, but actually already 2 feet short. So maybe I kept a little bit of money to myself in my own pockets. But there's retribution of that. That's why in this life, I'm rather short. Cannot be that tall. So I'm shorter than other people. So there's a reason why someone is short. I was born in Taiwanese year 34, which is 1945, toward the end of the Second World War. And my grandpa's properties for the whole street were burned down because the American military bombarded on Taiwan and was going to bomb the Suisang airport, and Jiayi was quite next to it. Kaohsiung and Jiayi, houses nearby. So that's why the air raid bombed on Jiayi too and burned all the houses of my grandpas because the whole rows on the street belonged to grandpa, my grandfather. And then we moved to New Taoxi, a chicken coop. And my Chinese zodiac is chicken or rooster, and I was born in a chicken coop by coincidence. And my dad had a rice mill and oil, and was also an oil vendor. Of course, we have rice, but we have no milk and other food. So we made rice gruel with water and feed it to me. So to feed me. So it's called rice gruel. So I just rely on rice gruel. So that was the reason. Oh, and the Second World War ended, and because the Japanese occupied Taiwan, and they left Taiwan and returned Taiwan to China. And my dad asked for the reimbursement from the government to the Republic of China. And the Republic of China government said, we didn't bomb your house. Because at that time, Republic of China didn't exist. Why didn't you find the Japanese? My father was good in Japanese. So he asked the Japanese government, and the Japanese government said, we lost the battle and we bombed everywhere, so we have to reimburse everybody? No way. So finally, when I moved to America, my father said, why don't you ask for some subsidy or from American government? And then I asked which plane that bombed our house. But my father was really upset. You know, he's very troubled because his father had like a row of houses and they were all gone. But there was the start of an affinity. And then he searched, he went to 3 different governments and they all rejected him. He went to the Republic of China, that declined. He went to the Japan government, that also declined. And then found the person who bombed, and that was American plane bomber. How could they reimburse you? And the American government would say there was war. I mean, how would I know? How would we know that's your house? Because at that time, Taiwan belonged to Japan. And Japan occupied Taiwan for 50 years. So we fell off because my grandfather was very rich and he had 6 wives. But my dad had no other choice than having just 1 wife. And me? been with me for a long time and she has been working very hard. So we have to promote her.
怎么生？
How do we promote her? Promote her to become the first wife.
这也是笑话。
This is a joke.
今天跟大家讲，这个一切都是缘，
So everything is affinity.
一切都是缘，
Everything is affinity.
也不要
Do you know? So there's no need to complain or
也
resent.
不要怪来怪去，
Don't blame the heavens or the human beings or the earth.
作祟。
And there's no need to blame anybody. Everything is based on the affinities.
你也什么都不能怪，
You cannot complain or blame anybody.
都是缘分啊。所以佛教
They're all affinity.
这个缘起非常的重要。
So in Buddhism, we talk about the start of affinity. That's really important. If the start is good, then that's very good. If the start is bad,
烦恼，
then you would be afflicted.
但是我们学佛人懂得
But as Buddhist practitioners, we understand about cause and effect, causes and conditions. You need to see through them.
随意而安。
And then you just be at peace, whatever may come, because everything is affinity.
我
You cannot say that, oh, I'm so short,
那是你的经验，
that because that's your affinity.
连牙一样长那么高，
Why can't I be like Lian
那
Ya,
么高，
to be as tall as Lian Ya or Lian Zhen? Because I have no such affinity.
不能怪天，
So you cannot blame
也不能
the heavens
这个
or the earth or the people.
都是不可以，
You cannot
能够
blame anybody.
而安，
You can just
然后烦恼
be at peace, whatever may come, and then you resolve your own
因为
afflictions, your own worries and troubles, because everything has a reason behind it. Om Mani Padme Hum.